You're listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, where you get valuable information you just can't find anywhere else. To thrive in today's trying times, you need the Financial Survival Network, now more than ever. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and get your free newsletter and gift. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.
Welcome. You are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz. Today's 10/12/21. Well, economy, looks like we had the shortest correction in history for the markets. Everything is fine now. Nothing to worry about. And that's all you need to know. But if you think otherwise, why don't you shoot me an email, kl@kerrylutz.com. Right now we have noted financial expert, investment expert, Brad Williams with us. So Brad, everything is fine. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to see here, is there?
That's right. And don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yeah, well, he's just a straw man anyway. Nothing to worry about here, is there?
Yeah, I think, unfortunately, I think we're going to be in for a tough winter with natural gas prices going up, with the change in policy. And we've already seen it at the pump. I was talking on my radio show last week about the price in Alabama going up by over $1 over the last 12 months for what you pump at the gas pump. And then, of course, you and I both know that when you increase transportation costs through fuel increases, then the cost of everything else goes up. So the middle class working guy is getting squeezed out as far as his wages are going to pay for staples now. Hey, it's tough.
I am currently writing an article entitled 10 Shortages That Are Getting Worse. And, it's things are in short supply, like pallets, like ketchup, champagne. I mean, you go down the list here and you say, this is absurd. How can this be happening? And, when you have shortages, inevitably that is going to lead to higher prices, isn't it?
That's right. Supply and demand. You got a great supply and not much demand, and those who have it get to ask more for it. And then, you'd have to be kind of asleep not to have seen the videos of all the cargo ships stacked outside of Los Angeles port. It's amazing. I mean, they just go on for as far as the eye can see, and that's going to be severe supply chain problems going forward.
You know what's really amazing? The fact that they only work like 6 hours a day at that port. And yet they could be working 24/7 to alleviate the backup of cargo ships. And yet nobody has any idea how to figure this thing out to make it work better. I mean, whatever happened to American ingenuity here, Brad?
Even a teenage assistant manager at a McDonald's store understands that, hey, maybe I need more bodies on the front counter tonight. You know what I mean?
It's rush hour. Yeah. Go figure, huh? Go figure.
Yeah. And then, that's going to affect a lot of things. We're seeing a lot of turbulence in the stock market, up and down and up and down. And, the threats on Taiwan from China, the overflights. People don't realize how many chips that we get from Taiwan. And if those are compromised, that they're going to have problems with their toasters and their refrigerators and everything because it's got a chip in it. And so I think one article said they were like 42% of the world's supply, somewhere around in that area. That's a lot of chips to be threatened.
Okay. And, that's why I went out and I bought a whole new set of appliances. I could have waited till they each individually died. But thing is, like, try to get my refrigerator, the ice maker went bad. Right. Try to get another ice maker. You can't get parts. I'll tell you a funny story, Brad. I had a grill that I bought at Home Depot, got the extended warranty, and the spark wire, the ignition wire, it's a gas grill, stopped working, but the one on the outside burner still worked for all the inside burners. So I said, well, let me get that fixed. I called them up. Oh yeah, we'll send somebody next week. 2 days later, I get an email from them. Sorry, don't have the parts. here's a gift card, go replace it. And I think that is becoming more and more common. It was $750. They just sent me a gift card. Nice of them.
Yeah, I had a similar situation. Our clothes washer broke, and just in anticipation, because it's pretty old, it's like 20 years old, of us not being able to repair it. I got online, started looking for clothes washers, and the backup on those, they couldn't even tell me when they could deliver me one if I needed it. And then fortunately, we got an appliance guy to come in. He said, I can repair it. And he charged us a nominal fee, which was great. And he said, you keep this as long as you can, because you're not going to be able to replace it for a while.
Yeah, and the quality back then, less electronics. Like now,
right.
The freaking computers run everything, and one of those chips goes bad, it's not worth the cost to try to diagnose it and replace it. Like replacing a circuit board in your washer is, they're just never going to do that, or your refrigerator. So yeah, he gave you sound advice for sure. You were very fortunate there. So has the stock market already figured this out and discounted it, Brad, or is it just beginning to comprehend the extent of these disruptions?
Don't just survive, thrive. The Financial Survival Network.
Silver One Resources is an exploration and development company backed by strategic investors Eric Sprott and SSR Mining. At Silver One's Candelaria Mine project in Nevada, there is already a historic resource estimated at 127 million ounces of silver, which Silver One is developing and advancing. The company's Phoenix Silver project, located within the Arizona Silver Belt, is an early-stage exploration project on which native silver vein fragments have been discovered near surface. One grab sample assayed an astounding 14,688 ounces per ton. Yes, that's right, ounces, not grams. Silver One has tremendous exploration potential, is extremely leveraged to the price of silver, and is cashed up and poised to increase shareholder value. Silver One trades in New York under the ticker SLVRF and in Toronto under the ticker SVE. To learn more, go to silverone.com. That's silverone.com.
This is the Financial Survival Network, the information you need to thrive now more than ever.
I wonder sometimes, because it's almost like it'll go down heavy and then everybody sees a short-term buying opportunity and they jump in, it pushes it back up. It seems like that too many people are looking at the stock market from a trading standpoint and not an investing standpoint. And those that are invested for the long term are really getting the short end of the stick, just like in the housing market. You got all these builders. We had 3 builders here in Huntsville, Alabama, get bought out by a big firm. And they're scooping these things up. I was reading in a trade publication, there was one builder that had like 47 units going up in a subdivision, and a hedge fund came, bought them all. They're going to turn them into rental properties. So they're looking at cash flow from these. They can get the cheap money that the government has now, and they're buying up individual residential units, which didn't used to be investment for firms. They'd be investment for individuals. And that's changing home ownership for many Americans. It's getting to be out of reach for many, and they're going to be renters.
Hey, well, you know what the definition of somebody who shouldn't be a homeowner is?
Tell me.
A person who should not own their own home? That's called a renter.
Yeah, there you go. So, you look around and you're thinking, where were we a year and a half ago? And things were, even with the impending pandemic that we didn't quite know about a year and a half ago, but the economy was clicking along, unemployment was down, wages were up. I know you could argue about whether the inflation numbers were correct or not, but they weren't like they are today. And the gas pump was a lot different. A lot has happened in the last year. Elections have consequences.
Yeah, and poor uneconomical policies, unsound economic policies also have consequences, and we're reaping the benefit of many, many decades of bad, improper, just reckless economic policy, especially recently. So what do you do here, Brad? How do you protect yourself? What is the way to go here?
Well, what I'm doing, I'm being defensive with my clients. We're looking at things that generate income because I deal primarily with those who are at least at the cusp of retirement, if not already in it. And so, we're looking at different income generating securities and, different things that have some security to them. But looking at growth, we got some growth in the portfolio, but you got to be ready to withdraw that pretty quick in these markets because we really don't know when one of these days one of these downturns is going to become a trend and we're going to end up with a 2000 or a 2008.
That's a good question there. Nobody knows the answer to that one, but certainly there's kind of inevitability to it all, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's only, you look at the Federal Reserve and how much they have in inventory and how that's changed over the last 10 years and low interest rates the way they are. I can't even imagine if interest rates normalized, what would happen to the economy when the government is soaking up 3 or 4 times more than they are now to service the debt. That's the real scary part when you look forward.
Yeah, and I'd like to see somebody who wants to talk about it besides Rand Paul, right?
Right. Yeah. Unfortunately, the best thing a lot of those guys do in Washington, and the only thing they really know how to do is get reelected. Mm-hmm. Once they get there, they're worried about being reelected again. And so many of those people have not a clue on economics.
Hey, so, there's only one party of politicians in Washington. You know what that one is?
Which one?
Incumbents.
There you go. Yeah, because it's stacked for the incumbent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, defensiveness, oftentimes it's called for. Brad, people want to find out more about you, connect with you on the web. How do we find you?
Well, it's easy. If you got a financial question, just ask Brad Williams. So go to askbradwilliams.com.
All right. It doesn't get any easier than that. And we'll look forward to speaking with you again. Got a question for Brad? Send us an email, kl@kerrylutz.com. Brad, thanks for stopping by. Always appreciated.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure talking with you, Kerry.
Thanks for listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, your solution to today's trying times. For the latest, go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.